Flying over your neighborhood in Flight Simulator could look like this. In Google, it looks like this. Another example, in Flight Simulator it looks like this. In Google it looks like this. If you are interested in replacing your Microsoft scenery with Google 3D scenery, keep watching this video. The software I use for building my 3D scenes consists of the Flight Simulator 2020, the Flight Simulator SDK for building your 3D scenes. This SDK is delivered with the Flight Simulator. How you can install it I will explain later on in this video. You need Blender 4.1 for importing your Google 3D scenes. See the link in the description below to the installation file. For Blender you need some add-ons to make it all work together. First of it is Blossom, that is an add-on for importing Google 3D scenes. Besides that you need also a Google API key, so you can connect to the Google service that consists the 3D data. See the link in the description below to the video how to get the API key. A second add-on is the Asobo exporter, which is delivered with the MS 2020 SDK, and you need it to copying the 3D scenery you created with Blender to export it to the MSFS SDK. Installing the SDK works as follows. First you start your Flight Simulator, and in the main screen you go to Options, General Options, Developers, and switch on the Developer mode. Immediately you see in the upper left corner the menu from the SDK. Apply and save this. Go to Help, and here you see the downloads. Download the SDK installer and the sample files. The files will be stored in your download folder from Windows. Next, what you have to do is to locate your download folder and install the SDK and the sample files. Next, you find out where the SDK is installed. In my case it's on the C drive over here, but that's for the Steam version, so you have to figure out where your SDK is installed. When you open this directory you find all the folders that consist of the samples and the tools we need for this tutorial. First two steps are finished now. Next, what we're going to do is to install Blender and the necessary add-ons. In the description underneath this video you find a link to the installation file from Blender 4.1. When you click this link it will automatically download this program to your downloads folder on your computer. Double click this file and it will install Blender 4.1. Now it's time to start Blender, and when you do that you see a window that looks like this. First, what we're going to do is to install the Blossom add-on. For that, click on Edit, go to Preferences, this window opens, Add-on, Install, locate the download directory, there's the zip file, install the add-on, search in this window for the Blossom add-on, there it is. Click on that, open it, scroll down to the line that says Google 3D Tiles key and click on Get It. For this part, it's necessary that you created the API key as described before. So if you haven't done that, it's time to first create the API key. Okay. When you have done that, you can go to your credential page, to the project you created. Here's the API key. You can say show key, copy, go back to Blender and paste it in this line. And close it. Next we will install the Asobo exporter. It works like this: edit, preferences, add-ons, install. Now you have to locate the exporter that is situated in the SDK that you previously have installed. Go over there, Tools, Blender. This is the exporter, and install him. When you installed him, you have to locate him in the overview of all the add-ons, and that is over here. It's opened already. If it's not checked, you have to check it and close this screen. So we finished our preparations and we can start to build our own scenery. Probably you have already an idea of what place you want to add in your flight simulator. It's always good to check if that location you have in mind, if that's filled with 3D scenery. I think you know what to do, but I show it to you. Go to Google Maps, find the location that you have in mind. Let's say for this example I will search this place. You click on 3D, take the control key, zoom in and manipulate this, and you see this is filled with 3D scenery. So now we're ready to import our 3D scene. That works as follows. First I remove these objects because otherwise they will also be in our 3D scene. And now we press on the character N on our keyboard and bring up the Blossom importer. First I will set the location where the imported files are stored. That works through the add-on settings. You go to the Blossom exporter and over here you can set the location of that files. Accept, okay. So that's set. Next we will select the scene we want to import. You will do that by select this button. You navigate to the location that you want to retrieve. It's over here. Show the selection rectangle over here. You can scale this so that the border surrounds the borders of this small city. Then you copy the location to the clipboard. You can close the browser screen and you paste it in the Blossom importer. Next you make the choice for what data sort you want to use. You choose for 3D tiles. Well, that's Google, the Google database. Next you have to determine what level of detail you want in your scenery. For the highest level you make the choice for buildings with more details. For this example I only take district because that reduces the amount of data we are getting and it speeds up a little bit the workflow. Later on I will, in building the scenery itself, I will use the highest level of detail that I already downloaded previously. What I also do is I'm opening the system console. This is this screen. Why? That is because otherwise you have no idea what happens in the background. When you import the scenery, it seems that nothing happens when you don't open the system console. So as soon as you click on the import, it will disappear to the background, but you can bring it up yourself. So let's import now. And here you see what's happening, and it's done already. You can close this screen. Oh, that closing goes over here. It looks like nothing happened, but when you zoom out a little, there is the scenery you have imported. The view of depth makes it look like things are disappearing. You can change that in the view, by the view option, and by setting this end to 15 kilometer. So you have the whole scene over here. You can manipulate it by this gizmo. At this moment the model doesn't show up with the texture, and you can show it up by clicking this option. So, but you see when you zoom in, there's not much level of detail. But that's already downloaded in another module, what I will show up now. It looks like also nothing happens. We'll remove this first. Here's the model. Bring up the textures. Takes a bit. The view also to 15,000. And this is the scenery we want for our model in Flight Simulator. To move your model around, you can use the magnifier glass. Just stand on it, click left on your mouse and move your mouse up and down. To manipulate your module, you can use the hand tool. Same way, move your mouse on the symbol, click left and move it up or down, left or right, and you can manipulate it. And of course with the gizmo. Next thing is when you click on one of the axes, you can directly go to that view. So for a Z, you move to the view from above. You can also zoom out by moving the mouse wheel. Well, by so far I don't think you need much more concerning the manipulation of the model. What I want to explain is the following. When you watch the colors in your module, and you compare that of the colors that appear in the flight simulator, you see a huge difference. When you should paste the model directly on the scenery, it would look like this. So you see really the tile borders in the landscape. To solve that problem, you have to understand that this module is actually made out of thousands of points. They call that vertices. And that vertices you have to delete. To modify the model, you have to delete these vertices around the borders we just mentioned. You can view these vertices by pressing the character Z. You get this rectangle and make the choice for wireframe. So here you can see how your model is built up in all those data points. To remove them, you first have to go to the edit mode. All vertices are now selected, so you can click once in your model and you can select the part that you want to remove. So for example, we want around this border remove this part. You can click on the control key, then the left mouse button, and you can draw an area. Automatically all the vertices inside that area are selected. Now you press delete and you have a little pop-up menu and you make the choice for vertices. When you look back in your rendered model and go to the object mode, you will see that the part you wanted to remove is deleted, and that's the way you can edit your whole model to make it fit over your flight simulator scenery. So I edited my model roughly, and it looks like this now. You see the squares are gone, and well, if you can do a better job when you take some more time for it, but this is okay for this tutorial. First, what we're going to do now is creating a folder where we can store the module that we have to export for editing in the SDK from Flight Simulator. That goes as follows. First, create a working directory, a working folder. Mine is in this folder. So delete this. Then you have to copy from the SDK folder under samples, dev mod projects, sceneries, the simple scenery folder, and you can copy it over here to your working directory, your working folder. You have to rename it to your project name. You can give it a name of your choice. Copy that name, and then you have to edit the content of that folder. the project name, you gave it the same name as your project name. You have to edit this file and replace My Company Scenery Simple with that project name and save this file. The sources map, you can delete it. The packet sources folder, you can well, leave it that way, that's okay. And the packet definitions, there are a folder and a file over there. You can also rename them with your project name, and you have to edit this file also. Replace all occurrences of My Company Scenery Simple with your project name, and I also replace the title with my project name, and I save the file. When that's done, our project is ready to open in the SDK from Flight Simulator.